more of what I've had to drink yesterday, and it was a busy week here in the store, man. Hard to get through all this stuff and sell wine. Can you believe it? Yes. One of the things we do here is sell wine in addition to talk about it and drink a lot of it. And one of our good friends, Andrew from Shafer Vineyards, first time I met him actually, but Shafer Vineyards was in yesterday with our friends from Augustin and some fantastic wines. You know, one of the greatest wine producers in Napa Valley. Their first vintage, 1978. John decided to move his family out to Napa Valley and start a business with his kids. He was in the publishing business, I think in Chicago, and you know, he wanted to slow things down. In Napa Valley, not as slow as it gets, man. But, you know, back then he was one of the pioneers, pioneers of the Stag's Leap District, and developed this incredible vineyard site right on where the winery is. And today they make a small amount of wine, but, you know, for 20,000 cases, I think, total. For a small winery, they do everything at the highest possible level. Everything in Shafer's portfolio is available here at the Wine Watch. And I'm glad, congratulations, Doug, John, Elias Fernandez, and the rest of the folks at Shafer for getting the coveted Wine of the Year. And the Wine Spectator this year, it couldn't happen to nicer people and couldn't have happened to a better wine. They're Shafer Relentless. Well, the wine sells out every ways. Even though Shiraz has been a tough sell at the high end, like I said, these guys make everything at the high end of quality. There's nothing that you're going to find that's much better than any of these products from Shafer out there in the market. All right, to start out, we have the Red Shoulder Ranch Chardonnay. And, Chardonnay was one of the things they were underachievers in, and they decided we need to develop our own vineyard site in Carneros. 1996 was the first vintage of Red Shoulder Ranch, and they used to keep this wine in barrel for 2 years, like a lot of people. Put a hell of a lot of oak in it, and, there was a lot of fruit in this wine to match. But they have lightened things up here. This wine sees about 25% stainless now, and same size barrels as a Barrique, 25 cases. They just do least contact to get the richness in there, but they don't want quite as much oak. Only 14 months in the barrel. The barrels that do have the new oak barrels that they use. A very intense bouquet here. Some rich tropical fruit, hints of banana, creme brulee, vanilla, cinnamon spice. Smooth and creamy on the tongue with layers of rich fruit. This wine just opened up for hours. I had it sitting on my desk most of the evening until the end of the night when I finished tasting this wine. Little hints of buttered toast there, but a lot of minerality showing through in this wine. Lovely balance and a long, concentrated finish. Really rich with just the right amount of toasty oak spice. I feel they got it even better here. Most excellent juice at $57. The Merlot. The first time I visited Shafer, Doug handed me the bottle of Merlot and then referred to me as Merlot Boy the rest of the trip. So I have a special place in my heart for their Merlot. They purchased a good bit of this Merlot, but only from two growers. About 30% of it comes from growers. Mary Jane Fay is one of them. They make about 7,500 cases, which quite a bit, but they used to make about 10,000, and I think that's the vintage. 2010 was a little shorter. They've been making Merlot since 1983. There's 10% Cabernet Sauvignon and 3% Malbec in the blend this year. A good amount of black cherry and dark plum fruit here, hints of licorice and sweet tobacco spice. Sweet potato spice, what the hell am I talking about? All right, sweet tobacco spice, a good amount of black cherry, fruit on the tongue, silk and plush. One of the things I love about Merlot is the texture. It's more in the front of your mouth than the back, the tannins like in Cabernet Sauvignon. And a heat spike at the end of this year made it kind of difficult, the 2010 vintage, but great producers make great wines every year. This wine's very rich and dense, but with great freshness on the finish. Lovely balance, some sweet herbs, dark earth, and some chocolate notes on the finish. Keep this wine in your cellar for 10 years or more. That's right, folks. It's Merlot. Excellent juice. 2009, 1.5. It's a big wine, weighing in at 15.3% alcohol. Lots of everything. Dark currant, cassis berry fruit, earth, cocoa, sweet herbs. Lovely complexity on the nose, just opening up. And we had the 2009 and 2010 side by side. And, of course, the 2010 had a little bit more fruit to it. This wine has got lovely structure, though, more classic style vintage, excellent potential for the cellar, deep, dark color. One of the things I noticed putting the two wines side by side, of course, it's going to be a little deeper, but it seemed like a little denser, even though it's just a year, younger, a little more dense anyways. But lovely fruit showing in this wine, a little black olive note in the 2010. Firm tannins, but firm acidity and a lot of fruit here. Lovely balance. Big classic Napa Valley Cabernet. These wines are very different, but I think similar in terms of quality. Both of them, most excellent juice. At under $100 still, $85.50. Almost all of this fruit comes from their estate. Only 2% Petit Verdot that they purchase from somebody else. And then, yes, they brought us Hillside Select. Can you believe it? I pinch myself when I wake up in the morning, some days when I come to work. This wine is off the charts. One of the best 2008s that I've had this year, well, along with those Roy Estate wines that we had the same day, earlier in the day. Just awesome juice, a nice amount of sweet herbs, dark earth, cocoa spice, really complex bouquet, 100% Cabernet, 100% estate bottle. A lot of this comes from their Sunspot Vineyard, their Hillside Vineyards up there on the winery. And this wine spends 4 years in oak. Wow, a lot of time, but not overdone. Lovely dark soy, coconut even coming out. Some really exotic spice in this wine on the nose, and big and unctuous on the palate. This wine has got layers of spice, dark cocoa, really exotic, big, chewy wine. Luscious, it needs a lot of time still, but man, it's amazing how appealing this wine is now. One of the best 2008s that I have tasted this year. Killer juice, that's what I had to drink with the folks from Shafer. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.